Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit about how to deal with toxic relationships and the cord clearing method. This is something that we all need to do at some point in our life, and that's just to get rid of the negativity, the people that are causing the negativity. And by getting rid of the people, I literally mean just expelling them from your life, simply and legally. Don't want no miscommunication there. But the simplest thing to do is just to let it go. As we get older, we have less room for unhealthy, toxic relationships. We ain't got time or energy to waste. But that doesn't make breaking away from the toxic relationships that isn't working any easier. Whether it's a bad friend, a broken heart, a side vamp, a family member, the zen zapping boss, it's important not to get entangled in someone else's toxic energy. When spending less time with someone isn't enough to disconnect you from their toxic influence, this slightly, woo-woo meditation practice kind of thing can be useful. Let's say that someone encounters somebody that is always angry. They harshly judge people. They have not owned their own anger, and they project the criticism of themselves onto others with the same condition. The strand of energy gets thrusted into each person that this person disapproves of. As long as they judge themselves, they can't help it. In other words, they become hooked into the cord and corded to the energetic field of a number of angry people. Consequently, the energy centers are clogged with anger for both that person and you. Understanding the source of your negative strands is immensely valuable. The great thing is that as you unweave your own issues, the people who were attracted or courted to the dysfunctional parts of you will start dropping away. They are not demon spawn necessarily. Please don't make the mistake of feeling that the person you want to cut away is a monster and that you are the innocent victim. This kind of strong judgment creates all kinds of energy strands of its own and can gum up the works of your auric field. Just remember, they wouldn't be able to cord to you if there wasn't anything to attach to. I know there are times when it can feel like they really are demon spawn. I also know from personal experience that it can be very difficult to let go when you are around someone who is cruel, unfair, or unkind. However, in the end, this kind of emotion can damage you and also makes it almost impossible to clear their energy out of your energy field. If you have been truly wronged by another, the best revenge is to clear them completely out of your energy field forever. And to do this, you need to let go. You need to surrender your judgment and the need to be right about them. It's one of the most difficult things that any human being can do, yet it brings great rewards. You will feel lighter and more at peace with yourself and with the world as well. It is important to know that cutting cords won't necessarily change someone. If they were a jerk before, they will probably be a jerk afterwards. But cutting the cord just means that they aren't entangled in your energy, and thus they aren't creating problems for you. Sometimes with a person whom you have cut the cord will suddenly call you right after you release that connection, wanting to reconnect. On an energetic level, they feel the disconnection and want to reel you back into their life. If this is a past dysfunctional relationship, this call doesn't necessarily mean that they want you back in their life. It might mean that they want to continue to pull energy from you or even control you. If a person you have just released tries to get back into your life, it's best to simply wish them love and ignore their calls. And you don't always have to cut the cord. Before you diminish any cords, see if there is something that you can do physically to stop the depletion of your energy. Sometimes you don't actually have to cut the cords, just simply shifting a few things can make a huge difference. For example, if there is a relative that you constantly feel drained around, sometimes by simply spending less time with them can help weaken the cord connection. Or if you have strand attachments to objects in your home that have negative associations, some clutter clearing can move out and refill your energy field with good things. It may seem simpler just to do a strand cutting ceremony. However, some objects in your home have such strong associations to the cords and they may form again. Sometimes it's better to simply move the object out of your home and your life. You can do this with relationships as well. Spend less time with people who diminish your energy, and you may not need to do any cord clearing. Before any cord cutting, it is valuable to be able to hone your energy. This will make your ceremony more powerful. To do this, begin by entering into a meditative state. If your mind begins to wander, gently but firmly bring it back. It helps to have a visual image to focus on or a mantra to say in order to keep your mind focused. For example, you might imagine a rose. Visualize very soft curves of its petals. Imagine its fragrance. Notice where the stem attaches to the flower. Be so attuned to that rose that everything else just drops away. When you can maintain this discipline for 20 minutes of a calm, dedicated, meditative state, then you can be successful at releasing the cords that bind you. Some of these cord cutting methods incorporate visualization. Don't be concerned if you aren't able to visualize immediately. It is your intent that creates results. Hold a clear, focused intent, and you'll be able to clear cords just as effectively as if you were visualizing it. Sometimes people have told me that they think cutting cords or shielding can't really work if it's just visualization. But actually, visualization can be one of the most powerful methods. And just because you release cords with someone doesn't mean that you can't have a wonderful relationship with them. Often it improves a relationship. It doesn't mean that you don't care or that you don't want to be friends with that person. It just means that any damaging or depleting cords are dissolved. It frees you to have more energy and vitality. It also allows you to set clear boundaries. Your emotions will be your emotions. Your thoughts will be your thoughts. The opposite of fear is love. You hear that? The opposite of fear is love. And dysfunctional strands usually come out of fear. Release the fear, step into love, and any negative cords will just drop away. So, the cord clearing method. There are a number of potent methods to release cords and strands that aren't healthy for you. Whether you do this method in a physical or non-physical way, it needs to be done with compassion and a powerful intent. If you are upset or angry while you do it, you might be able to cut the cord, but your anger will cleave the person's energy towards you and the cord will reattach. I know this isn't easy. Obviously, if you're cutting a cord, it's because it is causing imbalances in your life, or it's because you are distressed by someone. However, the more you can detach and become the sacred observer with the understanding that there was a reason for attachment on some level, you gain the value from it, the easier it will be to dismantle it. The first step is to cleanse yourself. Take a shower, scrub with salt, and then have a cool rinse. This refreshes your auric field. You can also take a saltwater bath with a cold rinse. Wear light-colored clean clothes. Light colors reflect the dark colors. Absorb, so you want the unhealthy attachment deflected rather than absorbed. Drink plenty of water. It is important to be hydrated for this type of ceremony. Energized water is best. To energize water, either hold your hand over it and bless it, or leave it out in the sun and under the moon and stars for at least 5 hours with the intent of the forces energizing it. Write it down. Be clear on exactly who and or what you will release. Sometimes it helps to write down exactly what you desire and place it on your personal altar, your desk, or someplace that you can just see it. You can also light a candle and place the list under a candle. Sit in a comfortable location. Close your eyes and relax. It's worthwhile to have some ambient music in the background. Music can allow you to go deeper, faster. Take a few very deep, full breaths. With each inhalation, imagine that shimmering, fresh energy is filling you, and all that is not needed is being released with every exhalation. Call upon your guides. Now, I went over the animal guides and the ancestral guides, but you can also call in angels, you can call in the darker entities if that's what you work with. You can call in pretty much anything or anyone that you use as a spiritual guide. Ask with gratitude that they help you release what is not needed for the highest good of all. Visualize. Once you feel relaxed, imagine that you are atop a high grassy hill. In the far distance, you might see snow-capped mountains or a luminous seashore. Spend time getting the sense of this lofty vantage point. Imagine that the high grasses are slowly waving in the gentle breeze. See white fluffy clouds overhead. Take a moment to feel strong and grounded. There is a meandering pathway that leads to the top of the hill. Anyone or anything that has attachments to you can come up the pathway to you as you desire. Then you cut and release. You notice that in your hands you have large sharp shears, scissors, or a knife. It feels holy. As the first person you desire to cut with appears on the path, imagine that they are standing in front of you. Look at the strands that connect you. If you see any that look dark and dull or shriveled, take your shears, scissors, knife, whatever, and cut that cord. If your knife begins to feel dull, hold it above your head to be sharpened by the light of the sun. Sometimes you'll cut a cord and it seems to come back. Just keep cutting again and again, or even pull it out. Eventually, it will stay severed. Affirm. When you make your verbal declaration, you should feel an immediate lightening of your energy field. As you cut with the clear intent, say, "What is mine is mine, what is yours is yours." Or you can say, "I," state your name, "hereby release and sever all cords to you that you do not serve and support our highest good. As I cut the ties to you, I honor my space and I honor your space. We each stand free in our own light. I am free, you are free." Or only that which is beneficial and empowering remains. Offer gratitude. Thank the person or object or situation for being in your life. Then send them sincere blessings for their own journey. This is an important part of the process. It completes the cycle and makes it easier for you to go forward in your life without that attachment. Now, if you are one that you need to do the physical visualization of seeing the cords cut, you can get a cord similar to the one that's on this video, tie your knot in it at the top, and that knot represents you. Each cord that hangs down, tie them all together at the other end. But you can name each one of your strands. You can name it to the person that is zapping your energy, bringing drama into your life, or an ex that you no longer want around you, family members, anything and everything that you want to resolve and you want to disperse to the universe to get them out of your life. So, depending on how many people is how big, of the rope and stuff that you would make. But you hold on to yourself, the knot above, the knot at the head. You hold on to yourself gently. Your grasp on the cords is you supporting yourself. You are there to hold yourself, guide yourself, support yourself. Now, each one of the strands you've named. You can even put like a little piece of paper on each strand at the bottom of it with the name that you want to cut. So that way when you're doing it, you don't forget anybody. And just tape it to it at the end. And you say the person's name, and then you can write your own. But for the simple of what is mine is mine, what is yours, You can say that, say the name or the location or whatever it is that you have tagged on that strand, and say the name. What is mine, what is yours, and then cut it. And then keep moving on. That way you have the physical visualization and the physical act of cutting that cord. Then you take the other end of the cord that was knotted, that has all their name tags or whatever on it, and you will have your little thing that you can hold on to with the little, like, I guess arms or legs or whatever of the other strands, and you place that in a jar. You can put salt water in the jar. You could put sage, sweetgrass, anything that works with binding, banishing, cleansing, stuff like that, you can put in that jar. Seal it up and bury it. And that is your physical representation of you cutting those cords. You put it in a place in your yard, around a tree, or just in your backyard, maybe in a flower garden or whatever. You bury it. When one of those people try to come back into your life, you can visit the place that you buried that jar, and you can tell them no. You can restate your purpose, that you cut those ties, the reason that you cut those ties, and it can help remind you of why you do not need or want that person in your life. It will help you fulfill the goal of cutting the cords, releasing the negativity, and moving on with your life. Now, there are plenty of cord cutting methods out there. You can even simply, without using a cord, you can get like an ice tray, and on little pieces of paper write a person's name that you no longer want to have ties to, and you can put the paper in the water in the ice tray and freeze it. Now, at a later day, a year down the road or whatever, if this person has, I don't know, changed their ways. Let's say maybe they were causing you so much drama because they were suffering from an addiction and you had tried so much to help them and they just didn't want the help and it was literally draining you. You can put their name on the paper in the ice cube and freeze that tie that binds you to them. Be done with it. But let's say a year later, they've come out of rehab, they're no longer addicted, they're holding down a job, you know, things are going better, and you want to recreate that friendship with them, then you can always take that one ice cube out of that tray and let it thaw out and release that cord again. So it's not always something that's permanent depending on the method that you choose to use, but cutting cords can be permanent. But just remember, as soon as somebody realizes that you have cut that cord with them, they are going to try double or triple hard to get back into your life. They will need to reconnect in order to feed from you. But you're strong. You're courageous. You got this. Have a good day, everybody.